Playing in 2011 as a part of the Cake Liberation Front, that's the right foot. Second time, I specially recorded E. Malcolm's Is, that's a header. And finally, In the Flesh, under the SMRE, left foot. His songs tell a story of community, history, solidarity, and love's lost. And that's not really capturing the breadth of his work. He's performed at Glastonbury, being invited by Billy Bragg. His debut album 20 years ago, A Country Heartbreaker, was Americana UK Album of the Year. Could everyone give a really warm welcome to Matt Hill?
Thank you! Thank you very much. Have all the radicals arrested, make sure the borders are closed, have all property protected, and a curfew imposed. Batten down the hatches, put a roadblock on the trail, all movements to be restricted, and all freedom to be curtailed. 'Cause now your neighbor is your enemy, make authority your friend. We're canceling the future, this is where it ends. And your duty as a citizen is not to question why. Your duty is to kneel and comply. But the dreamers and the thinkers in a kettle by the fire, watch them boil and simmer as the drones take to the skies. Charge up the tasers, let the tear gas commence. You're all targets for the cannons if you're sitting on the fence. And now your neighbor is your enemy, make authority your friend. We're canceling the future, 'cause this is where it ends. But your duty as a citizen is not to question why. Your duty is to kneel and comply. Duty is to kneel and comply. Ho, 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 ho. Hey, hey. Sha la 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 la. Oh, hey, hey. Sha la 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 la. Your duty as a citizen is not to question why. Your duty is to kneel and comply. But surely you're all happy, just look at everything you've got. We've even put some of you on the telly, so you've something familiar to watch. And now your neighbor is your enemy, make authority your friend. We're canceling the future, 'cause this is where it ends. Your duty as a citizen is not to question why. Your duty is to kneel and comply. 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 Thank you very much. It's nice to be out playing. I've had a couple of years off, what with the pandemic and whatnot, and I've not been very well, and I'm getting back into playing, so I'm delighted to be here and to be playing you some songs. So I'm going to do one now called Times Are Getting Tough, which they are for a lot of people. I wanted to write something in the style of Glenn Campbell, who is someone I very much admire, but a kind of song about Glenn Campbell getting turned down on his PIP assessment. Can't go to work this morning. tree. But most days I'll try, but I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel like giving up, 'cause times are getting tougher. 'Cause times are getting tough. And if I'm not there tomorrow, he told me don't come back. Doesn't like anyone over 50. I'm pretty sure of that. So most days I'll try, but I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel like giving up, 'cause times are getting tougher. 'Cause times are getting tough. Oh, times are getting tougher. Times are getting tough. Tramadol, Coco, them all, they get me through my day. But all the same, this chronic pain never goes away. But then I think about my nana, 'cause that lady was tough. Even when she had the cancer, she never gave up. So most days I'll try, but I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel like giving up, 'cause times are getting tougher. 'Cause times are getting tough. Oh, times are getting tougher. 'Cause times are getting tough. Thank you. So one of the problems with writing songs that might have a little kind of political edge to them is you worry that you know, if you write about current affairs, that in 2 years' time the song will be useless and you'll never be able to play it because things will have changed. Now, I wrote this song about 15 years ago in despair at the Prime Minister David Cameron. It's called The Captain's Diseased, and since then we've had another captain, Boris Johnson. The song was still good then. We had Theresa May, the song still worked at that level. Liz Truss, the song was superb for about 3 days. And now this is the song I'd like to dedicate to Rishi Sunak. And on it goes. It's called The Captain's Diseased. It's a nautical allegory or whatever. I'm not saying that we're not in trouble. I can see that storm ahead. We're heading right for the eye. We're the living, soon to be dead. And we're all in this boat together as it rumbles, rattles and keels. As I cling to this rope, I abandon all hope when I look whose hand's on the wheel. My God, the captain's diseased, syphilitic and riddled with fleas. My God, the captain's deranged. Parasites got into his brain. 'Cause this morning he rounded up 50 of the weaker, the sick and the frail. He lectured them all on the morals of work, and then he threw them over the rail. We could all hear them screaming as the rector led us in prayer. Praise God, he said, for our captain, and have mercy on those wicked souls out there. My God, the captain's diseased, syphilitic and riddled with fleas. My God, the captain's deranged, parasites got into his brain. Let's blow the man down. The officer class, they're no better in their shiny red coats and their swords, as they bask in the glow privilege bestows, wrapped in the flag of the royals. It's us working folk that keep the boats sailing. It's our job to keep the decks clear. They work us too hard, half-starved. Their fear is the brave mutineer. My God, the captain's diseased, syphilitic and riddled with fleas. My God, the captain's deranged, parasites got into his brain. Let's blow the man down. For your ears. You're all very attentive, and that's really nice. That's quite unusual these days. So thank you for listening. I'm going to play a song now which is set just after the war, the Second World War, on a council estate in Nottingham, and it's loosely based on my great auntie and uncle, and it's about a man who's just come back from the war. But unfortunately, I think a lot of the themes in this song are still current no matter what the war. And it's called Making Sense of the War. He came back from the fighting to find he'd won the peace. He got a new house from the council. It had an indoor lavatory. Then she'd find it in the parlor all hours of the night, still on maneuvers, a dagger at his side. He's making sense of the war, making sense of the war, making sense where there was no sense before. He tendered his allotment. He found a bombed out window frame. Bought himself a greenhouse, grew tomatoes up a cane. He planted roses in a bucket. He'd bring one home for Lil. She put it in a milk bottle, pride of place on the windowsill. Making sense of the war, making sense of the war, making sense where there was no sense before. reminded him of death. And then she'd always find him down by the railway line, just staring at the wagons, lost in the corner of his mind. But Lil would guide him gently. She'd say, come on now, duck, we'll have none of that. Let's go home. It's quiet there. I'll pop the kettle on. Making sense of the war and making sense of the war. Making sense where there was no sense before. Oh, making sense where there was no sense before. Making sense where there was no sense before. I got nothing football related. I did check, I got hundreds of songs I did check, but Nottingham Forest supporter, there's not really much to dig into. Do you know what I mean? So this is a song I wrote in a graveyard. I'd like to say during my goth period, but it's hard to have a goth period when you're bald. Hair is a very important part of being a goth, I think. I mean, I don't know, I might have got that wrong, but I think it's quite important. But I did write it in a graveyard in the city of London, in amongst all the tower blocks and the concrete and the glass of the city, all that money. There's this little old graveyard that's been there since Roman times. And there are plague pits there where they shoveled hundreds and thousands of bodies of the poor of London, the poor that built that city and built it up. And so this is a kind of, I don't know, like a sort of zombie apocalypse type song. I'm made from flagstone, grindstone, knucklebone, thigh bone, capstone, curbstone, tailbone, whalebone, cobblestone, milestone, backbone, jawbone. I'm built from stone and bone. There are no monuments on these bone-dry fields to commemorate all those buried here. Just wretched poor on wretched poor, 100,000 souls. The prostitute, the destitute, those cast aside by institute. From the borough slum to the boiler rooms, they've all been shoveled here. In the name of progress, the city cries, you may dance upon my stones tonight, but feed my slots with coins that shine. You're all just bones to me, and I'm built from stone and bone. Here comes London's forgotten dead, crawling from the flower beds, withered and sucked to a dusk-dry husk by the roots of ancient trees. And then landed gentry in wigs and gowns, run but then they're hunted down and hung upon their apron strings, all laid compass square. In the name of progress, the city cries, you may dance upon my stones tonight, but feed my slots with coins that shine. You're all just bones to me, and I'm built from stone and bone. I'm made from flagstone, grindstone, knucklebone, thigh bone, capstone, curbstone, tailbone, whalebone, cobblestone, milestone, backbone, jawbone, headstone, wishbone, crossbone, tombstone. Whoa. Sat there in this graveyard. It's where William Blake's buried, and I was having a look round all the graves, and a coach pulls up full of American tourists. So about 60 or 70 of these Americans get off the coach, picture the scene, Hawaiian shirts, Bermuda shorts, middle of winter, you know, and they pile into the graveyard and proceed to get out 60 identical pack lunches, sit down on the graves and begin to eat. Pilgrim fathers fill their plates on tables made from fractured slates and feast upon the graying graves of 100,000 souls. Then the earth below starts to shake as the spectral form of William Blake storms into the stock exchange and fire fills the sky. In the name of progress, the city cries, you may dance upon my stones tonight, but feed my slots with coins that shine. You're all just bones to me. I'm built from stone and bone. I'm made from flagstone, grindstone, knucklebone, thigh bone, capstone, curbstone, tailbone, whalebone, cobblestone, milestone, backbone, jaw. I'm built from stone, I'm built from stone, built from stone and bone. Oh, there's a lot of words to remember in that. I'm surprised you weren't all singing along. I'm a little bit disappointed you didn't join in, really. Yeah, I don't really do catchy choruses. Do complicated ones. Anyway, but I'm aspiring to be better. So I'm going to play one more for you. Thank you for listening and for having us here. I've really enjoyed it. I started recently thinking about the progress of capitalism, and I decided to go back and read Karl Marx and Engels. But in the end, I gave up because this song just puts it all so perfectly. So this is one of the greatest, really, summarizations of Marxist theory, if any of you are interested in that. It was written by Dolly Parton and it's called 9 to 5. Well, I tumble out of bed and stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition, yawn and stretch and try to come to life. And then I jump in the shower, the blood starts pumping out on the street, traffic's jumping for folks like us on a job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by. It's all taking and no giving, they just use your mind and never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. 9 to 5 for service and devotion. You might think that I deserve a fair promotion, try to move ahead, but my boss won't seem to let me. Sometimes I think that man is out to get me. Well, they let you dream just to watch them shatter. You just a step on your boss's ladder, but you got dreams they'll never take away. Cause you're in the same boat with a lot of your friends, waiting for the day your ship will come in. Tide gonna turn and it's all gonna roll away. Join the union, working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living, barely getting by. It's all taking and no giving, just use your mind and never give you credit. come to life.